Hello and welcome back to Mountain Mode Flight Logs. Today I am inbound to Nohana. Nohana is a place that we've not been for almost a year, and it is probably one of my favorite places, so I'm really excited to go. So Nohana is down kind of in the southern part of Lesotho. And it's one of our lower airstrips at 5,300 foot or so, and it's found in this valley, right at the bottom of this valley, and I just think it's a really nice spot, and it's a fun airstrip to go to. So we've got about 4 minutes to go here until we're there. Because I haven't been there for a while, my plan is also to do a low pass over the runway to just inspect and make sure that it is in good condition for landing. The tricky thing is that it's a one-way airstrip, and so a low pass is going to have to be in the takeoff direction. So I'll have to fly down the slope and out of the valley to inspect the runway. So the geography down here in the south is all different. We're along the main river here, the Cinco River. It's really nice down this way. Very different from the top north mountains of Lesotho. These are starting to get into the foothills. We have a lot more rock that's been eroded, leaving a lot of formations and things like that. And it really is a nice and just different looking area. So there's this little ridge in front of me here. As we cross over that, we will be just about over Nohana. So my plan is to go overhead, figure out which way I can set up for an inspection, do the inspection, and then if everything is good, on the second approach I will land. So inspection will be down the slope, and my final landing will be up the slope. Okay, I can see the health center and a little bit of the village just showing itself there in front of me, as well as the runway. So what I'm going to do is just kind of set up overhead, starting to get the aircraft in a good configuration for slow flight. So Nohana is fairly difficult, but the nice thing is that the prevailing wind is usually in our favor. So we usually land in here with some form of a headwind, and that makes it quite nice usually. But as you can see, it's found right at the bottom of this valley here in this terrain. So it can get pretty bumpy, and it's definitely a tight spot to fly into. Okay, my mixture selector aux pump is off. Okay, I see the runway below me. Does look good, but I do want to do some kind of approach. Okay, 1,000 foot. Okay, so I can see the airstrip below me. It does look pretty good. Looks in good condition. There's two windsocks that are working on the runway, but I do want to do a inspection a little lower. So airstrip windlass has briefed abort. My abort for the inspection is going to be straight ahead out into the valley. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to get set up on kind of a downwind here, just behind this ridge, and then take it down a little lower, and do a little inspection of the runway. Okay, so as I turn here, I'm leaving my flaps at 20. I want to stay at about 80 knots. Brakes and prop checked. The flaps and car flaps are checked for the inspection. Okay, turn on to tight kind of final here. And get a good look at the runway as I go past it. There's some grass at the end, but it looks pretty good. Alright, on the go around. Okay, flaps up, car flaps up, power set, make sure set, engine instruments are checked. Nav instruments, performance instruments. Fuel caps, passengers and radio call. Alright, so the runway is good. I can now get set up for the landing. And because I've inspected it, I can probably abbreviate this. Go straight to 20 degrees of flaps. Car flaps closed. Okay, mixture selector, aux pump is off. Airstrip when lasso briefed. My board is crossing the river on short final. Or on mid-final. If my approach is unstable, if there's something on the runway, or if I have a ground speed more than 82 knots, I will abort. Okay, and I'm turning on to kind of a base leg here, so my brakes, prop, and flaps are set. 70 knots. Okay, so I've just kind of teardropped around onto a base leg. And what we do is just fly nice and close to this terrain on the left. Just above the rock line. Last flaps can go in, car flaps are closed, green light for landing. Nice and close to this rock. Get set up on a nice final approach. Give myself as much space as I can. Alright, runway's clear. My board point is at the river. Got 73 knots, that's acceptable, I've got a green light. And my approach is stable. Coming up the board point. And committed. Alright, and we're down safely. Okay, flaps are up, got flaps open.